Odell Beckham, 222 receiving yards. That helps. And a close win over the Ravens. Then it was the defense. 4 interceptions against the Rams in London. Collins brought one back for a touchdown, too, against the Eagles. 2 early turnovers turned it into 14 points. They held on to beat Philadelphia. And then last week, 4th and goal, they go for it. Touchdown pass. And boom, that's the difference in a 1-point win from Ben McAdoo. He's been aggressive. There is no doubt about that. And it's paid off. And these Giants are right in the hunt in the NFC East. 6-3 behind Dallas, who, remember, they beat in the opening week of the season. So McAdoo replacing Tom Coughlin, and he's done a nice job. And it feels like football at the Meadowlands, John. It is 40 degrees, wind gust 20 miles an hour plus. Oh, yeah, here we go for some football in late November in New Jersey. Giants won the toss. They deferred, and so the Bears will have it first. Deontay Thompson will return this one. The seam out to the 20 and not much else. Third member of our broadcast crew, of course, is Pam Oliver down on the field. Pam.
Hey there, Kevin. Jay Cutler may be coming off a terrible 4-turnover game against Tampa, but the Giants aren't necessarily expecting a repeat performance. In fact, Giants head coach Ben McAdoo told us this is when Jay Cutler is at his most dangerous. When his back up against the wall, he'll come out and, quote, he'll want to stick it to you. But the Giants are also ready for a Bears offense, that will come out with a short passing game, and that's where Cutler is particularly effective. Back here.
I like that. Stick it to you. Well, we'll see if Cutler can, as it couldn't get much worse last week for these Bears after a good win over Minnesota. From their own 24, the pitcher to the rookie Howard, who has been great this year, but that gets a yard, if that. Jason Pierre-Paul against a revamped and, I guess, rejuvenated Giants defense.
Well, no doubt about it. We talk about all the new additions, Janoris Jenkins, Olivier Vernon, who plays the other end opposite of Jason Pierre-Paul. But, Kevin, I think you also got to speak to the improvement of a guy like Pierre-Paul coming off that gruesome injury last 4th of July. He's playing like the old JPP.
Oh, he really is. Different guy. They throw it on 2nd down. Pressure. Cutler dumps it over the middle looking for Meredith, but incomplete. There was Vernon, your guy, and there's a flag, and a late one too, so hang on. Craig Rolstad is our referee this afternoon.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 54, driving the quarterback into the ground with his full weight. It's a 15-yard penalty and automatic first down.
Well, here's Olivier Vernon. He's going to get to Cutler, and Craig Rolstad said it's driving him to the ground. That's been a point of emphasis in trying to protect these quarterbacks. There's a late flag, but the Bears get 15 yards, and you see Rolstad throwing the flag right there.
Yeah, I think that's what they call it. That is a penalty, and that's a 15-yarder. So after a little zest from the Giants defense early, Bears get help from the flag on the run here. I expect a lot of this today with this rookie Howard, who is going to pick up 4. He has burst on the scene and really starting to make a name for himself. So for these Bears are 2-7, okay? And you're thinking, okay, well, what do we have with this team? Well, there's a man named Jordan in Chicago. That is this young running back, Jordan Howard. We'll talk about him as the game goes on. Most probably don't know who he is. Front 7, John Lynch will tell you, he watches the film, says they have some really good players here, a lot of young players, which will watch for Chicago on defense. And then it's about the quarterback. Jay Cutler, will he be the quarterback next year? He's the quarterback right now at a 2nd down and 6. Howard again, left side, and he's going to make it about a 3rd down and 2. John, this young guy wasn't thought of to be the starter. It was Jeremy Langford, but he hurt his ankle, and since Howard's come in, he's just run with it.
Well, he's a 5th-round pick out of Indiana. Came in a little chunky, a little overweight. He was injured in the offseason, so they really didn't know what they had. But I'll tell you what, they do now. He is a big back. He sees the holes, and he's explosive through them. Up towards the top of the league in 10-yard-plus runs. I've really enjoyed watching the young man.
Bears go bunch to the near side of the field. All tight ends out there. But they'll run it to Howard, surging forward, and he's got a 1st down.
It's one of the things that you like about Jordan Howard. There's not a lot of wasted movement. You're going to see him run behind the Pro Bowl left guard, Josh Sitton. But he understands it's 3rd and 2. I got to stick my head down and bull forward. He runs right through Kelvin Shepard the Giants linebacker for the first down.
Howard takes a break. Jeremy Langford comes in. Yeah, he was inactive with an ankle injury games 4 through 7, and that's when Howard started to play. So Langford's been more of a change of pace back. He is fast and can run. Fake. Cutler's going to get it to him. And the flat, and he's got a first down. There's that speed for Langford out across the chains. And, John, you talked about the offensive line, running behind the offensive line. This Bears offensive line is really banged up because the right side, they've got 2 new players playing. Kyle Long got hurt last week. He's on IR. Bobby Massey, the right tackle concussion, is out. So Ted Larson is playing over there, and so is Mike Adams, a whole new right side.
Absolutely, and Ted Larson is a guy who started a lot of games in this league at the right guard position, replacing Kyle Long. Mike Adams, not so much, so we'll see how he holds up against Jason Pierre-Paul.
So they're working on Howard's, looked like maybe his eye on the sideline. So Langford remains in, and he doesn't get anything on first down. Let's see what happened here.
Looks almost as if he's pointing to that eye. Sometimes, Kevin, on these field turf, as they call them, they have these little rubber things that are in the surface. They pop up in that eye, and it looks like that's what they're doing. He's got something in that eye, and they really can be bothersome.
It's a good call. He's got the mask on, so you wouldn't think he got a finger in there. And so he remains out. 2nd and 10. Blitz. Cutler gets rid of it again to Langford. Wide open in the flat, and Langford driving forward for another Bears first down. So quick release from Cutler against the blitz.
And Kevin, we're talking about Jordan Howard. Last year, remember Adam Gase, now the head coach in Miami, was the offensive coordinator. He couldn't talk highly enough about Jeremy Langford and his ability not only as a runner but as a receiver out of the backfield. The Bears using those receiver skills of Langford's early.
So remember, the penalty on Vernon kind of gave the Bears a little momentum here in this opening drive. And their 8th play. Langford remains in. He'll get it. And he's inside the 20. Going to pick up about 4 for Landon Collins. Made the tackle. He's emerging into a star at safety for the Giants.
And Kevin, we talked about it in the storylines. You know, there's so much conjecture in Chicago. This season, playoffs likely aren't happening at 2-7. A big question they have to answer by the end of this year. John Fox, very much part of that decision. Is Jay Cutler the guy moving forward? No question about his skill set. His propensity to turn the ball over is worrisome.
2nd down, firing here, end zone, and it's a touchdown. Zac Miller, the tight end, and an opening drive score for Chicago.
Well, there's that arm talent that has never been denied to Jay Cutler, and it shouldn't be, because he can flat out throw the football. A little out and up by Zac Miller working against a linebacker. Zac Miller can run. Jay Cutler, remember, no Alshon Jeffrey, so they had to find some explosive plays somewhere. Zac Miller is the beneficiary of that, and what a throw by Jay Cutler.
So Miller with his 4th touchdown catch of the year, and an opening drive, 9 plays, 76 yards. And here is Barth. Extra point, and he missed it. So it's 6-0 Chicago as it goes right. So the penalty on Vernon gave Chicago some life, and as Pam told us in her report, Cutler stuck it to him.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
Well, help with a little penalty from Olivier Vernon, and then a 9-play drive. Zac Miller, 19-yard touchdown catch on a perfect throw. So the Bears on their opening possession strike first as Jay Cutler getting talked to and looked at the sideline. But Barth missed the extra point for the 2nd time in his career. And now it's Dwayne Harris on the kick. And Harris stumbles across the 20. And that's where the Giants offense will take over with Eli Manning, who will take the field in his 13th year for this Giants offense. And John, you look at some of the numbers overall, and they don't jump out at you, but you think he's having maybe his best season this year, or one of.
Well, there's an old saying, stats are for losers. And if you look at the passer rating, 89.7 or 89.4, not too impressive. It won't rank him very high, but he's winning. He's playing winning football, and he's playing his best football when it matters most. Third down, red zone at the end of games.
The Giants will start off their opening possession on the 22, and they will run it, something they don't do very much, to Jennings, who's got a good carry on first down.
Kevin, it's something that they don't do very much, and they haven't done very well, the run game. But last week they did, and that's really big for this Giants offense as you see them operate out of no huddle, because Eli Manning loves the play-action pass. The better you run it, the more effective the play-action pass is.
That makes it 2nd down and 3. 4-man rush, and he's got time. Manning firing far side, looking for Victor Cruz, and there's a flag. Cruz back today after missing last week with an ankle injury. Giants happy to have him back. Tracy Porter had the coverage.
There's Victor Cruz working outside. There's Tracy Porter.
Holding. Defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
So key penalties on both teams here early. And Kevin, a lot of people are used to seeing Victor Cruz for the New York Giants operate out of the slot, but they've got a rookie receiver, Sterling Shepard, who's really good in that slot. So they've had to find a place for Victor Cruz. It's been outside. He's been effective there.
So first down. I'll run it again. Jennings, not much. So for the Giants, who come in at 6-3, they have won 5 in a row. The storylines for this team, well, they're right in the mix, aren't they? They're playing good ball. Drive for 5. That's right, trying to have their first 5-game regular season win streak since 2010. Numbers can be deceiving. John talked about Eli Manning playing well. And stingy Spags. Giants defense has bent this year, but in the red zone, they've been stingy, of course, until the opening drive, where they gave up a touchdown. Here's a screen. Jennings, big room, and across the 50. They dumped it off to Jennings. He got a good block from Weston Richburg, and he did the rest, and he's going to pick up 16.
Well, look at Weston Richburg, the center. He's going to hold in there and then fly out there and get a block on Danny Trevathan. Eli does a nice job inviting the rush and then a quick push out to Rashad Jennings for the big game.
Fake the run. Manning fires, and he's got Beckham Jr. And his first catch will be a first down for New York. It's a gain of 11.
Now, Kevin, we talk about the play action. Watch the linebackers step up when you show that play action. That opens the alley to throw it to Odell Beckham Jr. So Ben McAdoo will tell you it's about rush attempts, because we do want to be a play action team. But I can tell you as a defender, when you run it well last week, they watched that tape, they have to respect the run. It will open up that play action passing.
So it's the attempts, even though the Giants come in 31st in the league in rushing offense. Just keep trying it anyway. Play clock at 1. They'll get it off and get it to Jennings again on the left flat, but he's going to be tackled immediately by Danny Trevathan. Well, you talked about that run offense for the Giants. It had been pretty much non-existent all year long. But then last week, especially in the end of the game when they had to salt it away, you see it. They were averaging 2.6 a carry, 50 yards a game. But last week, especially with the game on the line, they ran out the clock, and that's something that was good to see.
And Eli Manning doing so much at the line of scrimmage. The play that kind of iced that game was a 3rd and 6 where Eli checked to a run. Rashad Jennings got the first down.
Paul Perkins in the game, a running back. He'll get the draw. Perkins, oh, nice cut by Perkins, and he's got a first down. Woo! That was wicked. A rookie out of UCLA made Tracy Porter whiff.
You see Perkins, he liked it with that big smile. Talk about sticking it to you. Right there, he stuck it to Tracy Porter. That was nice by Paul Perkins, the rookie out of UCLA.
Is that what it feels like to get crossed over by Allen Iverson? Something like that. Good drive for the Giants on their opening possession. 7th play of it. From the 25. Manning fires, tips, and incomplete. Game break time. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. Vikings lose their 4th straight, hosting the Cardinals. Bradford finds Adam Thielen for that 16-yard touchdown. Vikings up early, 7-0. Kevin, John, and Pam.
All right, Carissa, boy, Vikings lost 4 in a row now after that start, as Carissa told you. And Arizona's been playing better, not great, but they are 3-1 since a bad start. And McAdoo's got that New Jersey diner sheet that he looks at for the play calls. Odell Beckham Jr. at the top of your screen. Always watch him. Draw again. Perkins. And he's going to pick up 2.5 on the carry for Amos. The safety came up and hit him. Giants offense, one thing about them, third down hasn't been their strength. They're actually 26th in the league converting third downs, and they throw it, John, a lot. They throw it the 5th most in the NFL. So we talked about the run game not working. They normally don't run it very much.
Beckham in the slot.
3rd and 8. A lot of time. Manning fires near side. Beckham complete, but he's not going to have a first down. And McAdoo, he has gambled on 4th down a lot. Does he think about it here? Sure looks like it.
He doesn't even hesitate. I mean, he has been very aggressive. We talked to him. He said, look, I always had that in the back of my mind, but more than anything, it's about trust in number 10, Eli Manning, on these 4th down situations. When the games have been tight, Ben McAdoo hasn't hesitated, just like he's not right here.
It'll be a 4th down and 2. Manning pressured, steps up, throws complete, and a good move too. It is Shepard inside the 5. 1st and goal for the Giants.
A great job by Eli Manning working through his progression. He wants Victor Cruz to his left. Initially, that's taken away. He comes back to the middle, finds the rookie Shepard.
Quick play, they get into Jennings up the guts. Touchdown.
Kevin, you really have to credit Ben McAdoo and this Giants offense. The 4th down, Eli Manning working the pocket, stepping up. Sterling Shepard, proficient after the catch. Then they go with the tempo. Eli Manning gets him up, lines him up, and Rashad Jennings plunges forward for the touchdown.
That 4th down, those plays have been huge for the Giants, especially in this win streak. They won a game with it last week, helped against the Ravens, and on their opening drive, oh, that hits the post. Apparently no one wants to hit an extra point today. So both teams on their opening possession go down and score touchdowns, and both teams miss the extra point. And so we're tied at 6. Just what we expected here from the Meadowlands. Fun start to this one. Giants and Bears.
Here we go. Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light. Make the right call. Drink responsibly.
Well, nice drive by the Giants. 11 plays, 78 yards. They went for it on 4th and 2. And believe it or not, it's their first 5-minute-plus drive of the year. They usually score a lot quicker than that. They don't score on their opening drive too often. The crazy thing is we've had 2 extra points missed in this game already. Thompson through a big hole. Breaks the tackle out across the 40. We got some action here from northern New Jersey. A 6-6 game. Giants fired up after the Jennings score, but now the Bears have it in good position.
On Fox is sponsored by Nissan. Innovation that excites. By McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL.
6-6 game. Good action in this first quarter. Each team scoring on their opening possession. Each team missing an extra point. Would you believe there's been 100 extra points missed already this year?
Hey, like that rule or not, moving the PATs back prior to last year, it's changed football. It really has.
Bears go empty backfield on their second possession. They're going to get it out to Cameron Meredith and Eli Apple, the rookie. Great tackle.
Really nice tackle by Eli Apple. He's been somewhat maligned. Was pulled against the Philadelphia Eagles a couple weeks ago. This is exactly what you have to do to those plays, though. They call it taking the grass and then finishing with good arms, bringing his arms through the tackle. Nice job by Eli Apple.
John, you mentioned it casually on the touchdown. Alshon Jeffrey is out for the next 4 games. He was suspended this week for PEDs, and so the Bears without their top receiver, one of the better ones in the league, seeing how that group responds today. From the pistol, this is Howard back in the game. Remember, they were looking at his eye. John thought that maybe some of the field turf got in his eye last possession, and he's going to get only a yard. I actually make it about 3.
Got a couple yards, and he ran into a man named Snacks. Damon Harrison in the middle of that defense has made such a big difference for this Giants defense. He's 350 pounds, and he's nifty.
One note with Jeffrey going out for the suspension, Marquise Wilson comes back off the PUP list for Chicago today. Had a foot injury. He's number 10 on top of your screen. 3rd and 9. Blitz. Picked up. Cutler firing. Miller. Great catch down the seam. And a big game on a perfect strike from Cutler.
Well, Kevin, it's the last note I made. Without Jeffrey, where are they going to find their explosives? The answer is that guy right there, Zac Miller. Jordan Howard does a great job picking up the blitzing Landon Collins, and then Jay Cutler. You talk about arm talent. He's got it. He can throw with velocity. He can throw with touch. He's finding it with Zac Miller here today.
Zac Miller is a great story. He was a pick by the Jaguars, 6th round in 09. He missed 2012, 13, and 14. 3 whole years with injuries. The last 2 years, he's been back. And here's Howard. Sticking with the run is Chicago. He's going to pick up a couple.
I remember talking to Jay Cutler about Zac Miller. Zac Miller was a quarterback at first in college. And Jay said he really sees the game like a quarterback. He gets what I'm seeing out there. Quarterbacks love that when they have a tight end, a player with a great feel, because they know where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there.
He's got 9 touchdowns the last 2 years. He had 4 the entire rest of his career before that. Fake to Howard. Cutler on the roll. Nothing there. And he just has to get rid of it. They're trying to get Cameron Meredith, who was rolling in the end zone there, but he was well covered.
Well, you see the coverage by Janoris Jenkins. Little zone defense playing with his eyes. Jay Cutler really nowhere to go with the ball, and finally just throws it away.
That's Cutler's only incompletion. 5 of 6, 77 yards and a touchdown so far. 3rd down and 8. Play clock running down at 2. They get it off. And you know what? We get a timeout. Bears saw it going down to 1. They call their first timeout.
First charge timeout. Chicago.
We'll be back to the Meadowlands. Tied at 6. John, we were talking about the extra points earlier. We said 100 missed this year. Thought it sounded a little high. It was actually 3,800 of the field goals missed. So our bad on that. No big deal.
Significant numbers
nonetheless. It's still a high number. 38 extra points when you consider it used to be basically automatic. It's a big play. 3rd and 8 for Chicago. Nearing the end of the first quarter. Cutler comes near side, and he's got a completion, and that's not going to go very far. That's Eddie Royal who made the catch. But now it'll be a field goal try for Connor Barth.
Turnovers have been this team's bugaboo. It certainly was the problem for the Bears last week. So a conservative play call, trying to get it in Eddie Royal hands, a punt returner, and see if he could go get the first down. If not, you're trusting Connor Barth to go knock this field goal in.
This will be a 40-yard attempt. Patrick Scales, the long snapper. Pat O'Donnell, the punter, is the holder. And Barth puts it home. Extra point was no good, but the field goal is just fine. And the Bears take the lead, 9-6. The NFC East is a different division. Last year, you can see where we were at this time, and, mediocrity. This year, totally different. Last time, every team in the division was over 500. This late was 2008. And you see, everybody's in the mix. They're all pretty good. We've seen them all, John. And the Giants, don't forget, they beat the Cowboys. They only lost week 1 of the year. They're right in the thick of things right here. And right now the Ravens in front of Dallas, who's won 8 in a row, 7-0 in the first.
Isn't it crazy how things flip year to year? Last year, the big joke was NFC least.
Yep.
Now it's NFC beast. Everybody playing well in this division.
You can easily see how, I mean, who knows, things flip-flop in this league all the time. You can easily see the NFC East getting 3 teams in the playoffs. Never know. 9-6 Bears, each team with a touchdown, and then Connor Barth with a 40-yard field goal to put them in front. Harris will sail out the back of the end zone. And so the Giants will take over on their own 25-yard line after a nice opening drive touchdown for them. Tomorrow night, National Geographic invites you to go to Mars. Join humankind's greatest adventure. Find out how we made Mars home. The new series Mars continues tomorrow night on National Geographic. So the Giants on 11 plays, 78 yards. Their opening drive went for it on 4th and 2 deep in Chicago territory and converted. 24 seconds ago in this first quarter. And then we'll run it. Jennings, nothing. Shoved backwards that time by the middle of that Bears line. Looked like Akeem Hicks may have been there and a couple others. That may take us to the end of this first quarter. There is Hicks, former Saint with the Patriots last year and one of the guys that has played well for Chicago. That will be the end of one. Fun one in this first quarter from northern New Jersey, but it's the 2-7 Bears out in front of the 6-3 Giants after one. 9-6 Bears lead the Giants as we start the second quarter. Along with John Lynch, Pam Oliver, I'm Kevin Burkhardt, and our entire Fox crew. Glad to have you aboard. Chilly day, windy from the Meadowlands. Giants have won 4 in a row. Manning, late pressure, smooths away. Here comes a flag on a hold. And he gets a completion far side to Will Tye. I have a feeling that one's coming back. Eric Flowers, the left tackle. Cornelius Washington on a bull rush.
Holding. Offense. Number 74. It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay. Second down.
Eric Flowers, hard to miss him. Stands 6'6", 329. Big boy. Working against Cornelius Washington. They run a little game. He's expecting Leonard Floyd, and instead Floyd goes inside. He grabs a hold of Cornelius Washington.
John, I believe he was trying to de-helmet him. I'm not completely sure. Second down, and watch Eli Manning direct this no-huddle offense. Giants no-huddle just about the entire game. It's more than they've ever done it, according to Eli. 2nd and 19 here. And he's going to come over the middle, and he's got a completion to Shepard. And you look at Manning's numbers, and we talked during the week and said, I don't care what the numbers are. He's playing great football. Why?
He's playing winning football, you know, and I think that's where Eli, sometimes the numbers, he'll throw some picks because he really doesn't care about quarterback rating. He cares about winning and losing football games. You look at what he's doing at the line of scrimmage, checking in and out of plays, adjusting routes with hand signals. I don't know if anyone's doing it more. He's throwing the quick ball. He's throwing the deep ball. He's doing it all and doing it very well, in my opinion.
It's a tough one, though. 3rd and 16. They dump it to Perkins using those moves. Perkins going to come up a little short, about 2 yards short. Good effort. But Amos, the safety, came in and prevented a first down.
Good job rallying to the ball on this Bears defense. This Bears defense, there's no quit in them, Kevin. They're a defense. We've talked about the front 7, and we'll show you Leonard Floyd as the day goes on. Pernell McPhee, Akeem Hicks. They've got some things to look forward to with that front 7. Got to get better in the back end.
Wing just gets it off, and Royal, who's returned 3 for touchdowns in his career, including 1 this year, starts it with a drop. And this one ain't going back, that's for sure. He gets across the 20, and the Bears will start it off deep in their own territory. So the Giant offense penalty heard on Flowers. They punt it away. Chicago ball in their lead in the second.
Game is sponsored by Burger King. Now get 3 large pancakes for only 89 cents, only at Burger King. By the new 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee, free to be. And by Walmart. Find gifts, groceries, and more this season.
Flatiron Building in New York City. Small screen, stadium-sized content. Watch live local Sunday games on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. We're just a stone's throw outside New York here in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Good game so far. Bears trying to pull the upset on the hot Giants who've won 4 in a row. Cutler's got off to a great start, including a touchdown to his tight end, Zac Miller. Here the Bears have started off from their own 21. They'll pitch it to Howard, breaks a tackle, good cut. And this rookie running back, who's got 4 100-yard games on the year, finds a seam, and he's going to pick up 12 yards.
Well, you see it over and over for him. First of all, he finds the hole. He sees it. He's got tremendous patience. The first or second guy rarely takes him down. You better bring your body, because arm tackles will not do with Jordan Howard. He is an impressive running back that you can see having a very bright future for the Chicago Bears.
Pretty big guy, listed at 6 feet, 230 pounds. And he runs strong, and he'll run it again. And the flag comes through early as he dives across the 35 to the 36, but a penalty on this play from Howard. We'll see what that is.
It's a paper bag.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Never mind.
It's the wind in the Meadowlands. There it is.
You know, I thought it flew right out of the pocket of one of the officials, and maybe it did, John.
Greg Rolstad was hungry.
Could have been a fry, a Knish. Who knows what was in that wrapper? 2nd and 7. Hey, Knishes are good. They come near side on Deontay Thompson. And Thompson is going to get out of bounds, but a first down for Chicago.
Jay Cutler talked about before this game, you lose Alshon Jeffrey. So you're going to play some guys like Deontay Thompson, who's been playing, but he only has 1 reception on the year, and you're going to have to count on them. Deontay Thompson is a guy who can run. They like him with the ball in his hands because he can do some things yards after catch, but that's conjecture. They don't know because he hasn't done it in his career, but they have no other choice because they don't have their best weapon in Alshon Jeffrey.
I love David Harrison's mouthpiece there. It's great. 1st and 10. Cutler over the middle, fires complete. Cutler's on point here. It's Cam Meredith who makes the catch, and another Bears first down, 17 yards.
Now, first of all, very good protection, and this is with Jordan Howard running it as well as he is. He's going to draw attention. Cutler moving the launch point a little, keeping him healthy, keeping him clean. Really nice route by Cameron Meredith, pushing the safety forward, getting him to turn his hips, and then sitting in the open zone.
Remember, 20-mile-an-hour winds here today. It's really picked up inside the stadium. Not an easy day to throw it. Run it again. And this run game starting to pick up some steam. You know, there is Howard. We've talked about him a lot, John. You know, he went to UAB initially, had their single-season rush record, 1,587 yards, but then they got rid of football in his hometown, and so he transferred to Indiana, and that's where he ended up finishing his college career.
You love backs that are fall-forward guys. You know, Walter Payton comes to mind. He was always falling forward. At the end of a play, he's not going backwards. He's falling forward. That's the hidden yardage in ball games.
Pitch it to Howard. Bobbles, corrals, through. Howard! Knocked out of bounds inside the 10.
This is a crack toss, and the key block right here. There's Zac Miller, and then Mike Adams out in front. But again, I told you, arm tackles will not bring Jordan Howard. You see Adams come up with his towel and nothing else. Jordan Howard, you better bring your body as a defender, or that will happen to you.
Jordan Howard, I told you about the start this rookie has had. He's already up to 63 yards rushing. And now a first down and goal. Langford replaces Howard in the backfield. And they will give it to Langford up the middle. Just shy of the goal line. This Bears offense is having their way with the Giants front.
They sure are. A lot of talk in New York. Classic trap game. Ben McAdoo said it's not a trap game. These guys can play. And boy, they're taking it to them right about now. And the New York Giants better wake up, because The Chicago Bears are controlling the line of scrimmage right now against this Giants defense.
Bears go 3 tight ends on this set. And we get flags flying.
12 men on the field. Defense. That penalty's half the distance to the goal. Still second out.
I think the Giants tried to call a timeout, realizing, but they didn't get it. And so the penalty will move it, I don't know, a couple inches.
There's 12 there. We can count. There's the 12th, and Eli Apple. They pulled him off, the rookie on there. Steve Spagnuolo not happy, and we'll see if his defense can stand up here.
Second down, Langford. Touchdown. And the Chicago Bears, off of their worst game of the year, have come out on fire.
They sure have. And it's a team under John Fox. The record is not good. The play hasn't been good. But one thing watching the film, there really has been no quit. Are they short some talent? Yes, they are. They've got areas where they have to get better. But the effort has not been an issue. And in this league, if you sleep on someone, trap games become reality. The New York Giants better turn this around in a hurry.
Chicago Bears have 179 yards of offense. This is one of the worst offensive teams in football coming into today. Barth hits the extra point, and the Bears extend to 16-6. Howard, this rookie can run it. A 27-yard run here. Set up the touchdown by Langford. Chicago by 10. Well, these teams go back a long way, and they've played 6 times in the NFL championship game. Look at these pictures dating back to the 30s, and in 1941, 46 championship game. How about 56 at Yankee Stadium, and then in 63. They go back. I mean, you're talking about 2 of the iconic franchises. Bears have the most wins ever in the NFL. Giants are number 3. They first met in 1925, the first year the Giants were an organization.
That last picture was of Y.A. Tittle, and some of the greatest pictures in the history of NFL football happen to be around Y.A. Tittle. There's that great one on his knees at the end of the game, all energy exhausted. Awesome rivalry.
That's great stuff. So they go back a long time. The Bears are turning back the clock. They look like the old Bears that we saw years ago today. I mean, consider they've already got more points than they average on the year, John. This offense has just not been good all year long, and they've got 16 points, and they're really dominated at the point of attack.
You know, really something interesting. Not only are they controlling the line of scrimmage, Jay Cutler's 8 of 9, and Robbie Gould, the kicker, the former Bears kicker, talking to Steve Spagnuolo, the coordinator, he shared with us, Robbie Gould said, look, don't be surprised if this frees Jay up not having Alshon Jeffrey. Sometimes when you don't have your number 1 receiver, you start to spread the ball, and that's exactly what Jay Cutler's doing.
5 Bears have caught passes today. The running game has gotten going, and that's why they're up by 10. Harris going to take this one out, and that is a horrible decision. Oh, until he breaks, gets out to the 15. That didn't work out for Harris or the Giants, who start deep in their own territory. Jay Cutler, he's having fun today, that's for sure. His Bears are up by 10.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Citizen Echo Drive watches, powered by Light.
What's different for the Giants this year than the last couple of years? Easy. They're winning close games. I mean, last year you look at what they were, and this year they're 5-1. Red zone turnovers, well, they're not doing it this year, so that obviously helps. And then you look at the defense. What a difference, right? Quarterbacks only completing 33% of their passes and only allowed 3 points in the last 2 minutes of the game. That's why you're winning close games, and that's why the Giants have won 4 in a row, why they're 6-3, but they better wake up, because they're getting dominated today, and they're down 10, John Lynch.
Yeah, they better make it a close game, because they play well when it's close, but they got to fight their way back in this game. And Eli Manning's the guy to lead them there.
They started from their own 15 after Harris took it out on that kick, coming near side incomplete, looking for Roger Lewis Jr. But Tracy Porter was on him.
Kevin, I've been on poor football teams before. Early in my career in Tampa, there were a lot of lean years. But all you need is a little confidence, and all of a sudden, plays like that, you start playing a little bit more aggressive. You start believing in yourself. So this is what you need when you're struggling. When you're a 2-17, you need a little hope, and then you can play some good football.
Four-man rush pressure, though. Manning sidesteps, dumps it off. Jennings, good burst, and he's got a first down. Now, that could have been a sack, but Manning danced his way out of it, and they pick up a first down.
Well, Eli is a very good athlete. He really is. And look at the athleticism, pocket presence, working a pocket. He feels Leonard Floyd. You kind of high step there, and you keep your eyes downfield. Eli Manning evading Leonard Floyd, who's a very gifted athlete in his own right.
Rookies played well for Chicago. Pitch. Jennings looking for a hole, finds it. Patiently gets out to the 30. He's going to pick up 3 for Jarrell Freeman. Made the stop. You know, it's interesting you bring up Floyd, a guy that a lot of people felt the Giants wanted in the draft. The Bears traded up and jumped in front of him and got him. And I know you love what you've seen from him on tape.
Boy, it's really coming of late. And he's a guy who's fairly skinny. They list him as 240. John Fox did say he's up to 250. I don't care what he weighs, though. He plays like a ball of fire. He's all over the place for this defense.
Second down. Manning unloads, going deep for Shepard. Double coverage there. And he overthrows him by just a bit. Bryce Callahan on the coverage. He's been out a couple games with an ankle injury. He's back today. Also on the coverage, you saw Deion Bush, the rookie from Miami, who is making his first NFL start today, number 26.
He's a guy they're excited about, Kevin. We're talking to the coaches down there, and they've been looking forward into the practice field. He started to perform in practice. They're giving him a shot in place of Harold Jones-Quartet to see what the rookie can do.
He played a handful of snaps the last couple of weeks until today. 3rd and 7. Time. Manning, Conley steps up, and he should have a first down. He hits Lewis Jr., young man who had some drops the last couple of weeks. Undrafted free agent out of Bowling Green, but there he makes the play, moves the chains.
The strength of this team and offense for sure is the receiving core. A lot of options at Eli Manning's disposal. Roger Lewis has been a guy who struggled with drops of late, but Eli Manning coming right back to him.
That's Terrell Adams in motion. Another rookie tight end, and we get a whistle. See what happened here.
The game has been stopped for a medical timeout.
Oh, interesting. I wonder if that came upstairs from the spotter.
Yeah, I think it did. You watch him at the end of this play. So there's the hit, but you see his reaction. He looked kind of dazed as he sat there, and he shakes his head. If you keep it going, he's going to shake his head, and up top, they see that. They buzz down. There he is shaking his head. They buzz down to the field. And a good job. That's why these rules are in place. And good job by the league following through and buzzing him and getting him off the field.
Now he'll go through the check, or the initial check, and see if he passes or being on the field. If not, they'll go back for more tests. They're going to run it. Big hole. Jennings, good catch. And Rashad Jennings is down inside the 41. A gain of 21 for number 23.
A very nice job. Jarrell Adams is going to lead it through. And you see that. There's the tight little hole. Rashad Jennings. Not a really big hole. There's not going to be huge holes in the NFL. You got to find those small ones and bust through them. Rashad Jennings does it.
So the Giants on the move. First down, they'll run it again. Why not? Except that's probably the reason. Leonard Floyd comes in and destroys that play.
There's Leonard Floyd up top. He's quick, he's strong, he comes down. Rashad Jennings going to try to come back on the cutback. Leonard Floyd says not so fast. I'm telling you, the folks in Chicago should be excited, and they are. This young man can flat out play the game. He can rush the passer. You see the 5 sacks. But he plays the run extremely well in addition.
Manning gonna unload deep down the middle of the field. Incomplete. He was going for Shepard, but pretty good coverage by Amos. Game break time. Let's go to Kurt Menefee.
Well, Minnesota trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. They hand it off to Matt Asiata. He takes it in from 2 yards out. But Kai Forbath, just signed this week, missed the extra point. It's 13-10. They hold the lead over Arizona. Kevin, John, Penn?
Come on, Kurt. You can't even make that up. Seriously?
It's going around. All these missed PATs.
Got Blair Walsh, of course, who missed that big kick in the playoffs last year. 3rd and 12, Giants. 3-man rush, now a 4-man rush. Manning hit as he throws. Jennings makes the catch, and he is going to be shoved out of bounds before the first down.
Now, this is an area, Kevin, where Ben McAdoo all year long has been going for it. And he's keeping his offense out. This coach, Ben McAdoo, he is aggressive. He told us the other day, we are going to call it aggressive. He has all year long. He speaks again about the faith in Eli Manning as a big part of the reason that they do this.
That's certainly field goal try. This would be a 50-yard field goal, but the wind is gusting, and so they are going to go.
A lot of confusion just getting lined up.
Fourth down, blitz. They dump it off to Jennings, and he breaks the tackle, and he's got a first down. Oh, Rashad Jennings there. He broke the tackle of Crevon LeBlanc. And the Giants convert their second fourth of the game in an injured Bear. I think it's LeBlanc.
Tackling is so key in this league. Crevon LeBlanc has the opportunity. Rashad Jennings, strong legs, run right through the attempted tackle.
Injury timeout. Giants convert another fourth, marching down the field, down 10 in this second quarter. Ben McAdoo credit, he's not shy, and they go for it on fourth down, but, you know, in games, like, it doesn't matter when.
Yeah, usually a team who's attempted a lot of fourth downs, they're a bad football team who's behind. They do it a lot when they're ahead, and I really respect that about Ben McAdoo. First-year coach in this market,
oh yeah,
you're putting yourself out there.
And so 2 fourth down conversions keeps this drive alive in a 1st and 10 in the Bear 28. Manning, time, fires to nobody. Miscommunication with Odell Beckham Jr., who's only caught 2 passes today. He's been pretty quiet.
They have kept Odell Beckham quiet, and we've seen the Bears defense employ different methods. He slips coming out of his break. You see that? As a result, the ball is a little high for Odell Beckham, but they're constantly moving Odell Beckham. Now he's going to be in the slot. They've moved him all over. Here he is right now. Teams are trying to double him, so how do you get away from that? You move him all over.
That's Perkins, the running back, goes in motion. He's now a receiver. Top of the screen. Manning, and it's tipped incomplete. He's looking for Shepard again. And again, it was Bryce Callahan who was on the coverage, so 3rd and 10.
Bears playing well today. They really are. They're winning the one-on-one matchups. They're winning the line of scrimmage. It's impressive for a 2-7 team. They're playing sharp. Now the key is, can they hold on, and can the Giants, conversely, start to get some momentum going?
Giants need to get to the 18 on 3rd down. Pressure. Manning hit as he throws. Almost intercepted. Amos probably should have had it.
Defensive pass rushers often say to their buddies, let's meet at the quarterback. This is called let's meet at the quarterback. McPhee, Hicks, Floyd meet at Eli Manning. That causes the ball to sail. And very lucky is Eli Manning that Adrian Amos didn't come away with an interception.
And now here's Robbie Gould, 11 years as a Chicago Bear. It was terrific, the all-time points leader. This is a 46-yard field goal attempt. He hasn't attempted a field goal in 2 weeks. And now a timeout. Oh, the Giants call a timeout on the field goal try. That's unusual. So with 3:38 to go, Giants down 10, trying to cut into that lead. John Lynch, 9-time Pro Bowl safety, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Bears looked about as bad as you could look last week. What in the world's going on here today, John? You
know what? They're playing winning football. They're controlling the line of scrimmage. you know, the Giants, you got to wake up.
Yeah.
You came out flat against a team. This is the NFL. It doesn't matter what the records are. You got to go beat your opponent each week. And right now, that's what the Bears are doing to the New York Giants.
Yeah, I think, you know, physicality-wise, they're winning the line of scrimmage,
Yeah, they really
which is
are.
maybe a little surprising, especially because the right side of the Bears offensive line, 2 new starters this week with the injury. So,
And if you're the Giants, this is when your best players, you got to wake up and start taking control of this game.
so again, it'll be Gold from 46 yards out. And the longtime Bear is perfect. So the Giants creep a little closer, get within a touchdown on Gold's field goal. Thanksgiving weekend, pair of Pac-12 showdown spots in the conference championships on the line. Starts Friday, 6th-ranked Washington takes on 22nd-ranked Washington State. And then Saturday, it's 12th-ranked Utah against number 10 Colorado. It's all on Fox. You can watch it live on Fox Sports Go. It should be fun. As here in the Meadowlands, along with Pam Oliver and John Lynch, I'm Kevin Burkhardt, 16-9. The Bears at 2-7, playing very well today. Giants have won 4 in a row. Just got a 46-yard field goal from Robbie Gould as John Fox been under some fire in Chicago in his second year. And obviously expecting big things from a guy who's done a lot of winning in his career. But, I mean, let's face it, this whole regime, Ryan Pace, the young GM, they had a lot of turning around of the roster to do. And not saying that this Bears team is close to being a Super Bowl team right now, John, but you could at least see the work getting done with some of the young guys they have.
Oh, yeah, a long way to go, and they got some big decisions, namely at the quarterback spot. You do see growth. Guys like that guy, Jordan Howard, the front 7 we've talked about on defense. There's positives.
Thompson. Another good move, another good return for Deontay Thompson. Some injuries in this one. Let's check in with Pam Oliver.
Well, Kevin, you guys talked about the diligence of the NFL with head injuries. A while ago, I saw over 6 medical people huddled up around the sideline monitor going over the replays of the hit on Giants wide receiver Roger Lewis. Well, Lewis has been back in the locker room for a while. He's being further evaluated by neurologists. We don't know about his return or his status at this point, but once we find out, we'll get to you. Head injury update.
Thank you, Pam. We just saw Christian Jones, special teams player, kind of hobbling on the sideline for Chicago. 3:27 to go in the first half. 2 timeouts for the Bears. Plenty of time. And Cutler, who's played great so far, is going to go over the middle, and he's got a completion of Bellamy. So without Alshon Jeffrey, John, you talked about it, all these guys. Bellamy had only 4 catches on the year. Deontay Thompson had 1, and they're even catching balls today.
Sometimes there's addition by subtraction. We see it in Detroit with Matthew Stafford. I think we're seeing the best version of Matthew Stafford, and maybe part of it is he doesn't always feel like I have to throw it 15 times to Calvin Johnson. And without Alshon Jeffrey, not saying that he's Calvin Johnson, but Jay Cutler feels free just to throw it where the coverage dictates.
Jordan Howard, 63 yards on the ground, and adding to that total, he is up to midfield, and Howard's going to pick up 8.
Well, good runners are patient runners. And watch this patience. You see Damon Snacks Harrison get in there. He extends the play laterally until he sees a crease. Then he gets downhill. Jordan Howard, there's not much not to like on this rookie running back from Indiana. The Bears, they found a player.
Winding down to the 2-minute warning. They'll run it to Howard again, looking for that seam, and not much. Going to get about a yard, and that should take us to the 2-minute warning with the Bears offense on the move again. They've racked up nearly 200 yards of offense. Zac Miller, a part of that. He's got a touchdown catch, and it's the Bears up a touchdown on the Giants. 2 minutes. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. If you don't like that, you can do what our producer Pete Macheska does. Just go on to the World Wide Web. Also effective. 2nd and 9 for the Bears. 2 minutes ago, they've got 2 timeouts. They lead the Giants by 7. And into Giants territory already. Cutler to throw. As time. Miller. Another grab for the Bears tight end who's going to push his way forward. Just shy, I believe, of a first down.
I'm telling you, though, Kevin, there's subtle things going on in this game. He caught that. Looks like they have him for a 4-yard gain. There's 3 hidden yards that he pushes 2 guys forward I hate to say this, but the Bears look like they want it more than the New York Giants right now in the New York Giants home.
I mean, they've got 205 yards of offense. Again, a reminder, Bears came in averaging 15 points a game. It's been a different team today. But this is 3rd and 1. They give it to the up back with CK, the fullback. And he leaks on through for a first down. So a little trick fullback blast works. And the Bears move the change after the 5-yard gain with 1:08 and going, but 2 timeouts for Chicago.
Now, Kevin, look, I played on some really good defenses, and if you want to be a really good defense, and they've been trending that way, your best players right now, if you're the New York Giants, Landon Collins, Jason Pierre-Paul, Vernon, you got to step up and realize this game's not going the way it should be. You've got to lead the charge to change it because you're getting beat right now. You're getting pushed around by a 2-7 Bears team.
Taking their time, Cutler tipped at the line of scrimmage, and there's one of those plays from Jason Pierre-Paul, who got his hands up in the air. He knocked down 2 last week, and that's his first today.
He talked about it. Look, we're expecting some quick passing game. If you're not going to get there, get your hands up. And Jason Pierre-Paul, incredible athlete, great hand-eye coordination. He has a knack for doing that, and that's an effective play right there by Jason Pierre-Paul.
The clock with 38 seconds. Again, 2 timeouts for Chicago. Cutler. Here comes pressure. Now he steps away. Looking, kind of shuttles it off. Incomplete. Nearly intercepted by Landon Collins, who's had picks 3 weeks in a row. He tried to shuttle it off to Howard in a 3rd and 10.
You talk about a guy who's having a season. This Landon Collins, he's got a knack for making plays. Jay Cutler going to kind of try to option it, and Landon Collins almost has his 5th interception of this year. He also has 3 sacks to go along with 4 interceptions. He's emerging as a playmaker at the safety position.
Third and 10. They're going to set up a screen. Howard's got a lot of room to run. Howard has the first down. But hang on. There's a penalty flag back near the line of scrimmage.
Holding, offense, number 76. It's a 10-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
Well, Kevin, right when I called for the guys to hang on, Jason Pierre-Paul knocks down a pass. Landon Collins almost intercepts. Now Jason Pierre-Paul brings pressure. Mike Adams hangs on to him and draws the holding penalty.
Well, that is a huge penalty. They were in very long field goal range. Now they're not. And a 3rd and 20 with 24 seconds to go in this half. Four-man rush. Cutler gets it out to Langford, but he's tackled immediately. And that's going to be too far for a field goal. With time ticking down. And we're going to get a timeout on the field. They figured this out. What's Kurt Menefee and the fellas have coming up at half?
Coming up on the Visa halftime, the Cowboys try to strut their way to 9-1. Marcus Mariota and Indiana. What? I don't think Conor McGregor has anything to worry about. We'll talk football on the Visa halftime. What was that?
White. I'm just too white.
I don't even know how they possibly could tape that without laughing. Zac Miller, oh boy. He's had a great first half. And he's obviously hurting with that reaction. That's disappointing. He's been huge in this first half for Chicago. They'll punt it away. Timeout was called by the Giants. And so they've got 1 timeout to go. 14 seconds in the half. Punt by O'Donnell. Harris. Fair catch. With 8 seconds, now 7 to go in this first half. Let's see if we can find out what happened to Zac Miller on that last play.
Here's Zac Miller. He's going to chip on Jason Pierre-Paul. Oh, and Jason Pierre-Paul steps on that left foot of Zac Miller, and that doesn't feel good.
No, so we'll see if they get him back. He's had 3 catches for 61 yards and a touchdown in this first half. Giants look like they're going to take a knee here deep in their own territory, and they will. So the Chicago Bears at 2-7, playing maybe their best half of football all season long. And they're surprising the Giants 16-9. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. The guys are ready with halftime. Let's get back to L.A. and get it to you right now. It ain't been McAdoo, but it has been the Bears that have surprised. Both quarterbacks have played pretty well, but Cutler's been great today, and that's really the story. That's why the Bears have a 7-point lead. John Lynch, Kevin Burkhardt. I think one other story, John, is the fact that Odell Beckham Jr. has been pretty quiet in this first half of football.
He's been very quiet, and credit the Bears, but if you're Ben McAdoo, Eli Manning, you got to fix that. You're talking about one of the most productive receivers to this point in his career in league history. Got to find a way to get him going because he is the explosiveness in this offense. And for the Bears, just keep doing what you're doing. You're outplaying the New York Giants, and the New York Giants got so much to play for. This is interesting. I want to see the mettle of these New York Giants to see how they respond.
Well, the Giants have won 4 in a row. They're doing something this year that they haven't done the last couple of years, winning close games. They're going to have to do it, it appears, again today if they want to make it a 5-game winning streak. Giants won the toss to start the game, deferred, so they get it here, and it's Harris. Nice cut. Dwayne Harris, stiff arm across the 40, and that's a good start for the Giants, and the big kick return from Dwayne Harris.
Well, we saw a little bit of inspiration from the Giants defense at the end of the half, and now their special teams gives them a little juice, a little jolt to start this second half. Dwayne Harris breaking tackles, getting out to around the 45-yard line.
And a nice block from Will Tye, the tight end, though. So a 46-yard return from Harris, and here are the Giants, who are down a touchdown to start this second half of play. At their own 44, and they'll run it to Jennings. And Jennings still going somehow, hard-fought yards near midfield. Down to the sidelines we go with Pam Oliver.
Well, Kevin, Ben McAdoo just told me defensively that they just have to stop the run and get off the field. Offensively, he likes the way they're moving the ball, just not keeping those drives alive. As for Chicago, John Fox is thrilled about the way the team has come out. He likes the way they're fighting, especially after that terrible game last week. He said they worked hard in practice. The finishing part is what they've had difficulty with. He needs another 30 minutes of strong football.
See if they can get it, Pam. That's Tye who makes the catch. Shy of a first down, and then immediately hit by Danny Trevathan, one of the free agent linebackers the Bears signed in the offseason.
Well, you know, one of the interesting things, Kevin, is we've talked about the fourth down and the propensity for Ben McAdoo to go for it. Oftentimes he tells Eli Manning on second down, last week in a huge situation, told him on second down, hey, this is 4-down territory. That really helps Eli because he can tailor his play knowing that he has 4 downs.
They just huddle, too, which is rare. They hardly do it on this third and a long one. Run, Jennings, first down. Shad Jennings been a factor today, 5 catches for 44 yards. And that'll put him at 44 rushing yards as well.
You can see, you saw it at the end of the first half. We saw it with the kick return. Now we're seeing it offensively. A little more energy from these New York Giants.
A lot of moving around and shaken by Manning, and then the incomplete high for Shepard. They've had a hard time hooking up today, those two. He did catch the 4th down conversion. That's just an incomplete and a second down coming.
Well, you say all that for that, you know, but it's part of what Eli Manning has been doing all year, really taking a picture out of his brothers, Paige and Peyton, getting them in the right play. Right there, he saw late safety movement. The safeties always tell you what's going on with the defense. He saw man-to-man. He dialed up the right play. They just didn't execute it. Shepard didn't catch it.
Try it again. The draw this time. Jennings up the middle. Not much. Shy of the 40-yard line. So a couple of injury news we'll update you on. Heard Pam's report early in the first half. Roger Lewis Jr., the rookie wideout, he's been ruled out with a concussion for the Giants. And then for the Bears, their nickelback, dimeback, Cravon LeBlanc also has been ruled out with a concussion. So those two players not returning. 3rd and 8. Giants have to get to the 33. Pressure up the middle. Manning unloads, complete, and a first down. There's the hook up to Sterling Shepard, the rookie out of Oklahoma, and it's good for 12 yards.
Right there, we talk about Odell Beckham Jr. and being quiet. But look at, they're dedicating 2 to Odell Beckham Jr. What that does, it opens up the middle of the field for everyone else. Sterling Shepard this time. So Odell Beckham, even when not involved, is involved, opening up the middle of the field.
Fake the run. Manning has time, coming near side. And there is Odell Beckham. Makes the catch, comes back across, and he's inside the 10 for the Giants. Beckham with a gain of 20.
Vic Fangio said, listen, I can't roll to him every play. At times we're going to have to attempt to hold up. And Odell Beckham, so strong. You see those hands right there. Little push, but he does it subtly. And Eli Manning always looking for number 13.
And this time number 13 will be at the top of the formation. 1st and goal for New York. Tiptoes away, incomplete. He had heavy pressure coming from C.J. Wilson. We got the start today with Eddie Goldman out. 2nd and goal.
C.J. Wilson, he's going to kind of loop over here. McPhee comes inside of that E.T. The end comes down. The tackle comes around. And Eli Manning throws it away.
Second and goal. Manning going near side. Touchdown. Tie.
You know, Kevin, we talk so often about these mismatches with these tight ends. That's 260 going against 214. Just a bigger body, so if you throw it to him, he catches it. He's not going down. Will Tye, a big man who can catch it for the New York Giants.
So Dwayne Harris had the big kick return of 46 yards. And then Will Tye, that's his first touchdown of the season. An extra point away from tying it up now. As Gold, the former Bear, does just that. It's a job call for the Giants defense to step up. Before the half they did, and now it's the offense stepping up. And we've got a new game. We are all tied in northern New Jersey. 16 all.
Sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By the $10 any carry-out deal from Pizza Hut. Only at Pizza Hut. And by Chevrolet. More 2016 J.D. Power Dependability Awards than any other brand.
Well, Dwayne Harris set the tone with a 46-yard kickoff return, and then the Giants offense cashed in. Eli Manning to Will Tye. The big tight end's first touchdown catch of the year. Manning had a good drive. Found Odell Beckham on a big completion. And this game all of a sudden tied up now. Remember, the Bears had jumped out in front early, had themselves a 10-point lead. That's evaporated. You want to see a reaction? John, this is what we call a 600-pound earthquake.
We talked about the mismatch. Will Tye being a big man. Eric Flowers says, I'm no mismatch. Little belly bump between two big men for the New York Giants.
That's a different look. That's a lot of beef.
That is a lot of beef.
Will Tye, you pointed out, is really a monstrous human being. If he can get the hands going, he could really be a weapon for this Giants team. And now get some life in this stadium, tied at 16. And Jake Cutler and the Bears will start off on their own 25. They're going to run it with Langford, who gets the first carry of the first half. And he's going to get out to a 4-yard gain. First half numbers in this one. It was the Bears getting a good half from Cutler. It is Zac Miller with the touchdown, but we saw him limp off, and he is not back. We're told he's got a foot injury, so that's huge. And Jordan Howard, 72 yards rushing. Keep in mind that the Bears, or I should say the Giants, haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher all year long. Blitz picked up. Cutler incomplete.
Kevin, I like this from Steve Spagnuolo to capitalize on the momentum that they've garnered in this stadium. He's playing aggressive now. 8-man up on the first snap. This time they blitz Landon Collins, starting to bring the heat. Here's Landon Collins. Good pickup by Langford, but Jay Cutler feels this pressure. He feels the pocket compacting around him. Bringing the heat are the New York Giants, finally here today.
Cannot underscore the importance of Zac Miller. He is the team's leading receiver coming in with the most receptions. The two tight ends, Paulson and Broniker, have a combined 4 catches behind him. Cutler in trouble, steps up, fires, incomplete. Landon Collins all over Eddie Royal, and the Giants D answers with a 3-and-out.
Now this is some player I've enjoyed thoroughly watching Landon Collins this week. The guy can move. Certain guys in this league we call heavy-handed. This is heavy-handed. You hit them and they feel you. Landon Collins playing really clean for the New York Giants this year.
First time the Bears have gone 3-and-out all day long, and so they're forced to punt. O'Donnell. Good high kick. Harris. The 25 gets a good block. There's a flag, maybe not a good block. Orleans Darkwa was the Giant on that block, maybe from behind. We'll get the call.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team, number 26. 10-yard penalty. First down, timeout.
It's on Orleans Darkwood. Didn't need it, but Giants D does their job. Well, we talked at that break about getting Odell Beckham Jr. involved. John showed you how they're bracketing him using double coverage all game, but got a 20-yard catch in the last drive. And let's see if they get him involved here. Beckham lined up at the top of your screen. And the Giants start this possession all tied up with Perkins getting the run for a short game. Game break time. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. Arizona at Minnesota. Opening kickoff of the second half for Darrell Patterson with this 104-yard return. Minnesota now has an offensive, defensive, special teams, and defensive touchdown today. They're up 27-17.
Seems like that's how they score. Cordell Patterson, he does one thing better than anybody, and that's that. Here's Manning. Far side, he's got a man wide open. It's Shepard. And Shepard is brought down rather quickly on the play by DeMontre Hurst. So for Odell Beckham Jr., you talked about the Bears doubling him and things like that. So how do the Giants still get him involved? Because he has been just incredible this year.
Well, I don't think you force it, but you continue to move him and make it harder to bracket him. You motion him. You shift him. You put him in the slot. You put him as the number 3. You move him all over that field. And then most importantly, you don't force it because he can open other guys up as we saw earlier.
He's on the bottom of your screen against Tracy Porter right now, but Manning looking the other way. Manning looking to run. Eli chugging forward, and this is going to be an interesting spot. He kind of awkwardly slid forward, hit the knees down, and Porter is hurt. I don't know where they're going to spot this. Looked very close from our angle, and Porter got nicked on that play. Let's look.
Well, again, the pocket presence. He sees the green grass, and then here's that awkward slide that you talked about. It is going to be a very interesting spot to see exactly where they marked it.
First contact is where they're going to mark it. And from our vantage point, it was so close. See those knees down. Yeah, I would say it's close, John. And they're going to tend to Porter first.
Today's game is sponsored by Verizon. Join the Better Network because better matters.
Well, they gave Eli Manning the first down. I'm honestly a little shocked they didn't at least measure this. It was that close. I mean, look there. It looked like he hit before the first down line, which again is not official, but it's pretty darn accurate. Anyway, Giants first down. They had an injury timeout for Tracy Porter. Porter walked off under his own power. Sherrick McManus is in for him. First down. Manning. Pressure up the middle. Is he going to run again? He's got a fake beauty, and it's Victor Cruz who gets open. Victor Cruz back from the ankle injury, got behind the coverage, and he's all the way down to the 21. It's a pickup of 48. Eli's got the legs, John.
The threat, the dual threat of Eli Manning working the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield, and Victor Cruz and Eli Manning have played together for 7 years now, so they understand each other, they know each other. Victor Cruz finds the open space, and Eli Manning finds him for the explosive
First catch today for Cruz, season long, and they victimized Sherrick McManus, who came in for Tracy Porter. Porter's now back in the game for Chicago. First down. Giants looking to take the lead. There's a low throw and an incomplete. Going to Odell Beckham Jr.
It really is one of Eli Manning's great strengths, his ability to move within that pocket. At times you got to run, but you always have to keep your eyes downfield, and he's doing it very, very well of late.
Second down, four-man rush. Pressure gets drilled over the middle to Perkins, who's got the catch, and he's down near the 15. Boy, Manning got hit, but he pops right back up. C.J. Wilson had pressure again for Chicago.
You talk about playing quarterback in this league. It's not easy stuff because big guys like that bearing down on you. And here's one of the toughest in the league. All he does is continue to show up. 200 plus consecutive starts for Eli Manning, taking hits like that.
Giants 4 of 8 on third down today. 3rd and 4. Manning over the middle. Touchdown. Shepard.
Here's Sterling Shepard. He's going to fake like he's crossing and then heads upfield. When you get people in quarters coverage, you start to run across and then you isolate them on linebackers. You head them vertical. Beautiful execution by the New York Giants offense. A great throw by Manning to Shepard.
And Shepard's got his 5th touchdown of the year. 5 catches, 50 yards for him. And would you believe another extra point missed by Robbie Gould, his 2nd today? There have been 8 extra points missed in the first half of games this week, I should say. What a wild one here in the Meadowlands. Giants in front. Well, 2 possessions in the second half for the Giants, 2 touchdown drives. Sterling Shepard with his 5th touchdown catch of the year, and Eli Manning on the drive, 4 of 5 for 74 yards, including the beauty to Victor Cruz off his scramble. But Robbie Gould has missed 2 extra points today against his former team who he played for 11 years. Now the kick return. And this gets out across to the 28 from Thompson. Back to the touchdown, John.
It's subtle, but a very neat route by the rookie Sterling Shepard. He's a magician in this slot. He fakes like he's going across the field, then heads up to Montre Hurst, who's covering him. He takes his eyes off him. You always have to keep your eyes on the man. He loses them, and Shepard executes that to perfection. Tremendous route, and that draws a smile from Eli Manning, who continues to play at a very high level for these Giants.
He sure does. All of a sudden, Manning up to 218 yards and 2 touchdowns today. And so now the Bears have an answer. Here's Jordan Howard. Had a good first half. Not much here. I told you about the extra points. There were 7 extra points missed in first half of games today. And then Gold misses that one to make it 8 on the day across the league. As a Bear is hurt, it's Josh Sitton, their left guard. We told you coming into today that Kyle Long was out, Bobby Massey was out on the right side, and now Sitton, their left guard, is down. He's had a bad ankle coming into this.
You see Sitton, he's going to get stepped on by Jordan Howard. Right there, that does not feel good. And Sitton, they're running out of linemen. Eric Cush will come in, but there's not many left for the Chicago Bears.
You know, each team was so thin on the line, John, today that they both called up a lineman from the practice squad. That doesn't hurt. So let's see. You've lost Kyle Long, Pro Bowl guard. You've lost Josh Sitton, the Pro Bowl guard. Your starting tackle is out. That is not good. And Eric Cush, the former Ram guy, if you watch Hard Knocks, who likes tank tops, that's him. He's in the game right now. And a 2nd down and 9. That's a way to start the third quarter if you're a team that's won 4 in a row. They'll run it. And Howard gets eaten for a snack.
Talk about control in the middle. You can talk about Janoris Jenkins, Olivier Vernon, but maybe their most impactful free agent acquisition has been this guy. Damon snacks Harrison, controls him, and then just eats him alive. That's how you play defensive tackle in the NFL.
Giants forced a 3 and out. The Bears' first possession of this quarter. Now, Bears facing a 3rd and 8. Cutler fires, coming near side. Incomplete. Marquise Wilson had it in his hands, but Janoris Jenkins broke it up and almost picked it off himself.
Need a number one corner in this league. They went out and got one in Janoris Jenkins. And the finish, that ball should be caught by Marquise Wilson, but Janoris Jenkins had a lot to do with that, stripping those arms.
Now Dwayne Harris, certainly a returnable situation here. Giants almost blocked one from O'Donnell earlier. Harris surveys, looking for a block. And still on his feet. Good effort, but the Bears had it covered pretty well. Fans want some late activity, maybe a flag, but not the case. So the defense, Jenkins making the play. 2 fourths, 3 and outs for Big Blue in this third quarter. Flexing their muscle. Snack time. And McAdoo's Giants, not a bad third quarter. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns, and the passing game has come alive. Giants have the lead for the first time here today. 22-16, 5:13 to go in the third. They'll run it to Jennings. And Jennings with a good effort going forward. You know, it's interesting. You look at that. I call it a diner play sheet, John, from McAdoo, because if you've been to a diner in Jersey, that's what the menu looks like. You get breakfast, you get it. But you see the Post-it note there on the left?
I see the sticky Post-its. Yeah.
Story behind that, isn't there?
Well, Eli Manning said, look, he used to be my offensive coordinator. The difference now, McAdoo's still calling the plays, but Eli said, I don't get to see him on the sidelines anymore. So the mechanics work that Eli tells Mike Sullivan, the coordinator, he goes, gives him a Post-it note, and McAdoo checks those Post-its and dials up Eli's favorite plays.
Jennings, good cut, and Jennings with a first down. He's out to the 43, and Jennings going to pick up 10. So isn't it funny, with all the technology, Eli communicates via Post-it note.
And this Post-it said, hand it to Jennings. I like that play. And Jennings bounces it to space. And this Bears defense, you can see the talent disparity now starting to take hold. Early on, they had more will. Now the talent's starting to take over.
Another Giants first down. They've dominated this third quarter. They'll run it again. And Jennings, patient, Going to get a yard and a half. Game break. Let's check in once again with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. To Dallas we go. The Cowboys looking for their 9th straight win. This helps Dak Prescott to Dez Bryant. Prescott's 2nd touchdown today, passing touchdown today. Cowboys up 17-10. Kevin?
Cowboys trailed 7-0 in that game. Coming on back. They're 8-1 leading this NFC East. Second down. Manning all day, firing deep down the far side, incomplete. Victor Cruz was the man, but Bryce Callahan was there step for step with him.
Earlier on, we talked about, sometimes it's the attempts, the rushing attempts. I think it's the same way with throwing the ball deep. I'm seeing Eli Manning throw it deep more than I ever have in his career, and I think they always haven't been successful, but what that does, it takes a toll. They're like body blows to a defense. We got to back up, fellas, because he's throwing deep, and it opens up the underneath stuff.
Third and 9. Again, a 4-man rush. Manning all day, high, incomplete. He was looking for Darrell Adams, and he couldn't connect. Bears haven't blitzed much today at all. That time, Manning does not make him pay, and the Bears will get the ball back.
The Bears are coached by one of the best defensive coordinators in this league, Vic Fangio. We joke around and we call the most honest man in the world, because you better be a great player, because so often we use hyperbole. That's a great play. He's a great player. There's very few great players in Vic Fangio's mind.
He is one of the best, and he doesn't blitz normally in his MO, and he's not doing much today. As Eddie Royal with a fair catch, and the Bears take over down a touchdown late in the third quarter. Well, the third annual Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award honors NFL players who exemplify outstanding sportsmanship on the field. Each NFL team nominates one player for the award, and in December, a panel of NFL legends will select 8 finalists from the 32 nominees. The winner, decided by a vote of current NFL players and announced at the NFL Honors Award Show February 4th on Fox. That's the night before the Super Bowl. The nominee for the Bears, Sam Acho. Nominee for the Giants is Victor Cruz. Well done, guys. And good luck to those two. Cruz, locally from Patterson, New Jersey, a stone's throw away from here, coming back from major injuries. Big catch earlier, but now it's Jay Cutler and company. Down by 7. They have done nothing in this third quarter. Pressure coming. Gets rid of it. High. Incomplete. He was looking for Howard, and a second down.
Yeah, Kevin, you made a great point earlier. Remember, you came into this game with your number one receiver, Alshon Jeffrey, out. Then you lose your number one threat at receiver and your tight end, Zac Miller. And this defense now, you see them draw closer because they don't respect anybody down the field. And it's like you're playing against 15 guys now for Jay Cutler.
Huge loss to Miller, who went out on their last offensive play of the first half. Remember, he had a big first half. Second down. They'll run it. Howard trying to get him going, but he's been quiet. Giants defense, ever since that last drive when you kind of call for them time to step up, they've stepped up.
Well, good for them, because everything's not going to be perfect in this league, but you have to have that sense to be able to recognize my team needs a lift. And I think Jason Pierre-Paul and Landon Collins led that energy boost, and Steve Spagnuolo liking it.
Trying to force their third consecutive 3-and-out.
He's got that smaller menu, huh?
It's not the diner menu. That's a local cafe. Play clock at 5. They're not going to get this off. They don't. Unless they call the timeout here. They did. So John Fox called the timeout to save the penalty. And the Bears will be faced with a third down and long. Well, this January, she's inappropriate and in charge. TV's most outrageous new comedy is coming to Fox. Caitlin Olsen is their guardian, but she's no angel. The Mick premieres this January on Fox.
How about it? I always knew the Mick is a guy who wore number 7 for the New York Yankees.
This would be a different Mick. How about Ben McAdoo with the shades on the foggy day today?
Listen, he's not central casting for the New York Giants coach. You know, sometimes wears a suit a little too big. But the guy is having an impressive first year, really leading this team
He is.
in an impressive fashion.
He's taken over for a legendary guy around here, Tom Coughlin. Third down and long. Pressure coming. Cutler escapes for now. Still running, looking, firing, and complete. What a play by Jay Cutler. It's Cameron Meredith with the first down catch.
Listen, a lot of criticism is heaped towards Jay Cutler. He's moody. He's difficult. He doesn't inspire people. One thing the guy can do is throw the football. You talk about skill set, he's got it. And I've been a teammate of his. He's a good teammate. He's tough. Right now he's playing with a hurt thumb, and I know it's hurting him. He's not saying a word about it, and he's making throws like that.
He missed 5 games with it. And that is a tough one as a quarterback, that's for sure, to overcome. First down, Howard looking for a seam. That's closed down the running game for Howard so far. That was Jonathan Hankins on the stop. Down to the sidelines. Let's check in with Pam.
Well, Kevin, you talked about the flux of the Chicago Bears offensive line. Well, we got another situation here. Josh Sitton, he was carted off the field. He will not return. Back to you.
Boy, oh boy. Will he come in with 2 year starters out and make it a third? That's rough. Thanks, Pam. Second down and 8. Blitz, Casillas. They get it off to Howard, and Howard gets around the edge. Jordan Howard making the play.
Listen, this is a great play for the Chicago Bears, but I want to talk about this effort. Excuse me, he's over here. Big Damon Harrison, Snacks. We've been talking about him. Look who goes and makes this play. He sees the ball on that screen. That's 350 pounds, folks, down 20 yards downfield. That's the kind of thing that will win you championships in this league. You got to love that effort.
Jordan Howard, 79 yards rushing. That's his first catch for 22 yards. A pitch to Langford in the game, and he is buried. Wow. Olivier Vernon. And that should take us to the end of the third quarter with a statement from Vernon and the Giants defense.
Olivier Vernon, take it to the fight to them. That's exactly what he does.
22-16 Giants over the Bears. Amazingly, we've had 3 extra points missed in this game. Robbie Gould has missed 2 for the Giants, and that could be big. They're only up 6 instead of 7. And of course, the team they're chasing, the Cowboys, have won 8 in a row, up on the Ravens 17-10 in the fourth quarter. That's where we stand, but Chicago on the move. Big play by Olivier Vernon to end the third on the run stop of Langford. And Langford remains in the game at tailback with Howard out. Second down. Cutler in trouble, and down he goes, Jason Pierre-Paul. First sack of the game for either team comes by JPP.
He's coming here. Olivier Vernon coming here. Jay Cutler. You combine that with push up the middle. There's really nowhere for him to go. Jason Pierre-Paul, Kevin, you can see him. The ability to use that hand again. We're starting to see the guy that was such a force in this league starting to be that player again.
He really is. There was some doubt after that fireworks incident last year. It took off his finger. But he is a confident guy now, third and forever. Eddie Royal with the screen. You know what, Eddie Royal, they just got the Bears in a field goal position. And so a good play on third and long, and now they'll have an attempt for a long field goal from Connor Barth. Let's see where they'll spot. They'll put this at the 41, so it'll be a 51-yard attempt for Barth, well within his range. His season long is 54. Trying to cut it to a 3-point Giants lead. Nope. Well, the wind has been a factor, but nobody wants to make a kick today. 3 extra points, a field goal, and the Giants still lead by 6 after the doink.
Up on Fox is sponsored by Ford. We go further so you can. And by Charles Schwab.
Well, this is November in East Rutherford, New Jersey. That's right. 40s is the temp. Feels like 35, 20-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And we've had 4 missed kicks in this game. And so the Giants maintain a 6-point lead. They take over with Paul Perkins in the backfield. Perkins up the middle and then hit hard by Danny Trevathan and Jarrell Freeman. Injured Giants. It's Marshall Newhouse getting his first start at guard today in the NFL. Started the year as Giants right tackle, but Pugh's out, so he's in.
And he really, Kevin, you could make a case, is their 4th left guard, because you started with Justin Pugh. You went to Brett Jones. They're both injured. You had Adam Geddes, who's now injured as well, and Marshall Newhouse. So that position has really been tough for the New York Giants in terms of keeping guys healthy.
Yeah. Offensive linemen for both these teams been a factor. Mentioned earlier, they each called up a lineman from the practice squad. Pugh's been out with a knee injury, so Adam Geddes will get a chance at left guard. Anybody want to play guard? Come on down. This happened during the break. Marshall Newhouse down and big man popping on up and jying off. So that looks good. Meanwhile, Adam Geddes, number 60, comes in at left guard right now for the Giants. Second down coming up. Middle, there's time, incomplete.
You know, Kevin, one thing I've got to say for this New York Giants offensive line, we've talked about the injuries. They've been beat up a lot in the press and whatnot. Eli Manning's been sacked 12 times all year, and they throw it a lot. And so I think Eric Flowers, Bobby Hart, John Jerry, these guys deserve some credit where credit's due. You're throwing that much to keep him that clean. A lot of it's on Eli. He gets rid of it. But a good job by this offensive line.
3rd and 8. Blitz coming over the middle. Quickly incomplete. So Fangio brought the blitz and it worked. Giants will have to punt. Game break. Let's check in with Carissa.
Thanks, Kevin. Back to Dallas we go. They have the best record in the NFL, and this helps that. Dak Prescott to Dez Bryant the 2nd time the two have connected today. Cowboys up 24-10. Kevin, John, and Pam.
Man, oh man.
Kid won't go away.
We're going trying to win 9 in a row.
He really is impressive. So poised.
By the way, on that note, had to like Tony Romo this week, right?
Absolutely. I mean, that was a classy deal. I just think he's got all of America wondering what a meritocracy is.
Here's Callahan back on this punt. Wing, Fain getting hit, and Callahan calls a fair catch inside the 15. That's where the Bears will take over. And so Jay Cutler coming back out on the field. Yep. Tell you what, this Ben McAdoo, second youngest coach in the NFL, was the offensive coordinator here. And look at his journey. He was actually at Fairfield University. They shut down the football program. Then he followed around Mike McCarthy, begged him for a job. He went to New Orleans, to San Francisco, to the Packers, with initially the tight end coach and then the quarterbacks coach there. Pretty good position to have. And then he came here under Tom Coughlin, the offensive coordinator for 2 years, for taking over as the head coach. And that's where he is right now and doing a fine job trying to win the Giants their 5th straight game. First down for Chicago. Pressure. Cutler. Down it goes. Vernon comes with the Giants' 2nd sack.
Well, this defensive front, you want to win football games in this league, you better be able to rush the passer. They have Jason Pierre-Paul. They've got push in the middle. Olivier Vernon now puts the move on Charles Leno and then goes and hunts down Jay Cutler, bringing him down.
The Giants didn't have a sack in the first half. Now 2 in the second half, and the Bears are in trouble. Backed up at their own 6. Cutler to throw it. Here's Howard. Dropped. You know, on McAdoo, John, it's interesting. You know, he takes over for Tom Coughlin. I want to finish the thought. Who was here for 12 years, 2 Super Bowls, and he brought over 13 assistants. And I asked him, what was that transition like? And he had an interesting response on that.
Well, his response was nobody was retained. He said to the staff, we're hiring everyone. So he wanted it, that they had to earn it. So guys that hung around, they earned their job. I really like him as a head coach. I think he's built upon what Coach Coughlin's done, and then he's made his own imprint. And the biggest imprint's been winning close games.
Trying to do it again today. Giants up by 6. 3rd and 18, Chicago. Cutler in trouble. Has to get rid of it, and it's incomplete again. And this Giants defense stepping up.
Great coverage. Jay Cutler looking downfield. Zone defense. Everybody covered. Jay Cutler just has to throw it away. So Steve Spagnuolo doing a nice job mixing man-to-man, mixing zone, and that front starting to overwhelm Jay Cutler and the Bears.
And O'Donnell, who's had a great day punting, now into the winds, which have picked up. And Dwayne Harris, there's a good returner looming. Great punt. Wow. Harris fumble! Knocked loose! And the Giants have it. Oh, wow. Bellamy had it in his hands for Chicago, but Eli Apple saved the day.
What a punt, though, Kevin. You're talking, that's into the wind. Huge hang time and huge distance to it. Dwayne Harris hits off his face mask. You talk about that wind that drifted into his face mask, and a near miss for Jay Bellamy, who's right there with the ball hits off his chest.
It's a 4-6 hang time into a 25-mile-an-hour wind for O'Donnell, and then Eli Apple with outstanding hustle to save the day. So the Giants have the ball up by 6, their own 31, 11:48 to go, trying to salt this one away, but they haven't been able to do it. Jennings back in the game at running back. He's been out for the last couple of series, so he's back out there. Going to get it. Not going to get much. You talked about Eli Manning. Giants throw the ball 5th most in the NFL. He hasn't been sacked today. How is it that he doesn't get dropped?
Well, first of all, I think you give the offensive line some credit, which we just did, but most of it's on him. They throw the ball quickly. We've shown his pocket presence, the way he sidesteps. He moves up in the pocket. He's just doing it tremendous. He's got a great knowledge of this system. He knows where to go with it. He gets rid of the football. It's impressive. Those are impressive numbers.
Play clock at 2. They'll get it off and they'll run it. And Jennings runs into Terrell Freeman. So a 3rd down is coming up.
I think, Kevin, though, that's their strength of this offensive line is pass blocking. Run blocking, you see it. They don't move people, do they? I mean, you look at Dallas, they're moving. They're winning the line of scrimmage. I think that's where this group needs to improve. You've got to be able to push people around in this league. They're getting better at it. They need to keep improving to make a playoff run.
So a 3rd down and 4. Manning, 4-man rush over the middle. Beckham has to go forward and is not going to get a 1st down. He's tackled at the 40. It's going to be a yard shy as Trevathan and Floyd were there to combine on the stop, and now the Giants will punt, so the Bears D keeping him in it.
You know, it's interesting. Odell Beckham, you're always talking about receivers, you want to come back to the ball. He came back to the ball and ran himself right out of a 1st down in doing so.
So, John, it looked like the Giants were going to run the Bears out of the stadium. 2 touchdowns in their first 2 possessions to start the half, but they've been quieted since, and Wing will punt it again. And Wing gets it down inside the 20, and Royal calls another fair catch, and so that's where the Bears will take possession. Let's see if Wing got hit or if he faked it. It's a good acting job, but that's on Broadway, about 8 miles away. Not here.
Today's game is sponsored by K Jewelers. For 100 years, every kiss begins with K.
Check this sequence out. So Brad Wing keeping his leg up, saying, come on, hit me. And then the acting job, and watch after. Sam Acho says, come on. And Wing, yeah, little wink.
Sam Acho, the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award winner. So that's not good sportsmanship, buddy. It's a flop.
He tried. So the Bears' first 3 possessions, John, They scored all their points. Since, nothing. But they're only down by 6. They're hanging around. Howard is dragged down. Jonathan Casillas just flew into the backfield in the big tackle for a loss.
You watch Casillas as a defensive player. You want to go in their backfield, take the fight to them. He sees the gap. He goes and takes it. Jordan Howard with nothing to do because of the effort by Jonathan Casillas.
Jordan Howard had 12 carries for 72 yards in the first half. He's got 5 carries for 5 yards in this half. Giants locking it down on the run deep. 2nd and 12. Back off the blitz. Cutler still in trouble, and he's sacked for the 3rd time. Hankins and Pierre-Paul both got there.
It's just like a compactor, getting compacted from every way. Just compacting the pocket. Jay Cutler just getting swallowed in between Pierre-Paul, Damon Harrison, and Jonathan Hankins.
This Giants defense has been trending upwards the last 4 weeks, and after a first half where they got dominated, quite honestly, they've changed it up here in half number 2. 3rd and 18. 4-man rush. Cutler fires far side, complete, but short of a first down. Cameron Meredith is going to come up a yard shy as Eli Apple with a solid tackle. And it'll be punt time again for the Bears with under 8 minutes to play.
It's a big-time throw by Jay Cutler. We're talking about this gusting wind. He just fired a comeback 20 yards downfield on a rope. And a really good tackle, Kevin, as you alluded to, by Eli Apple, the rookie from Ohio State.
Eli Apple had his best game of the year last week. The rookie from Voorhees, New Jersey, out of Ohio State. Had a couple nice plays today. And so Harris, jeez, look at this kick. O'Donnell, it's a lunar lander. My goodness. All the way down to the 6 for Patrick O'Donnell. He has had some game today. That's a 67-yard punt, no return. Unbelievable. Defense holds, though, and the Giants have the ball up by 6. Bears haven't done much. They scored in the first 3 possessions, missed field goal, and then a bunch of punts. But their punter, Patrick O'Donnell, has been a saver for them, keeping them in the game. He just had a 67-yard punt, put the Giants on their own 6 on first down. They go nowhere. I mean, Patrick O'Donnell, super windy day here in the Meadowlands. Look at the last 2 punts with no return on either one of them.
He's used to that inclement weather, playing at Miami of Florida. But he does punt in the Windy City and not affected by the wind here at all.
Bears spent a 6th-round draft pick on him a couple years ago out of Miami. And you can see why today. 2nd and 9. Giants up by 6. 6:40 to play. Jennings. Good stiff arm. And Rashad Jennings has a first down. John Jerry had a nice block in that sequence for Jennings, who's had a big day.
And Kevin, this is where I think the Giants, where they need to improve. John Jerry's going to pull around Eric Flowers, the power play, down, and around. And then Jennings using that big stiff arm to get that first down. That's well executed. That's controlling the line of scrimmage.
Jennings had 87 yards rushing last week and then 82 today. He's also been a factor in the pass game. 5 catches, 44 yards. He's been a difference maker. Another first down, and now obviously time could be a factor soon. At the middle. And Jennings going to pick up about 3 on that play for Akeem Hicks. Came in on the stop. And the rookie Leonard Floyd is down on his knees. Outstanding rookie from Georgia. 9th overall draft pick. Let's see if we can see what happened here. Got the head there. They'll look at him. We'll take a break.
Tomorrow, we debate all of today's NFL action. And I'll tell you why the Cowboys won't make the Super Bowl.
And you'll be wrong again. Undisputed, America's fastest growing sports show, 9:30 Eastern, FS1.
This is Leonard Floyd, John, and this is sad because he's just been great lately for him. And you saw in that replay with his head and his neck, not good.
Well, the lesson is for you youngsters at home, always keep your head up. Watch his head go down. When your head goes down, nothing good happens, and his head just gets compacted against the side of his own teammate, Akeem Hicks. But you have to keep your head up. Heads up football. It's the youth movement in football in the NFL.
Bears obviously down, saying some prayers. Now, we have seen some movement, John. It's hard to look over in there with all those bodies around Leonard Floyd. So they're continuing to work, put him on the backboard here. They brought the card out for the young linebacker. While they do that, why don't we get a game break and let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Scary situation there with Leonard Floyd. We wish him the best. Of course, Baltimore at Dallas. Kevin, 2nd and goal. Trailing by 2 scores. Joe Flacco finds Steve Smith Jr. The Cowboys up 24-17. Kevin?
Carissa, thanks. So that's a game down in Dallas. And you see the protocol to get Floyd attached to that backboard, that back brace, and stabilize his head and neck area. How do you play after this, John Lynch? I mean, you've been involved with a lot of big hits in your career, but I mean, this is it's a pretty somber situation right now.
It's sobering to say the least, and that's for both teams. And it really is hard. You see this, and then you got to go back to playing football. Look, we're within a 1-score game, but everybody on both teams, including the Giants, their heart and minds with Leonard Floyd right now, and we just hope he's all right. Yeah, they're continuing to work. Of course, we showed you the replay, and brought out the backboard. They've got the card out there, and he's a young man. They've really loved what he's done for them, especially the last 4 games, but now the Bears just concerned about his overall health. They tend to Leonard Floyd. We'll be back. Good game here. Actually got a lot of fireworks in the first, but the Giants, the difference, first 2 possessions of the third quarter, marched down the field. They scored 2 touchdowns. It was Ty, it was Shepard, and then this defense has shut down the Bears completely. Chicago with a long missed field goal. That's been it. Run game, which is great in the first half, has disappeared thanks to Olivier Vernon and company. And that's the difference in the game, but it's still only a 6-point Giant lead as we've had a break in the action because Leonard Floyd, the rookie linebacker out of Georgia, is still being tended to. We showed you the replays. His head and neck certainly looked like he got compressed on a hit with his head down, and so they've taken all the time to get him on this backboard and eventually put him on the card, stabilize the area. We should point out we have seen movement. As a matter of fact, it looked like he was trying to get himself up initially when it happened, so this is what happened initially, John. So at least it looks like that is a good thing, right? He's moving around here. He's moving around right here. He even almost goes into a plank-type movement. And right here, I've been there before. The doctors are telling you're not moving. We're getting the board. And he's probably saying, let me up, because I've been there. You're worried as you are about yourself. You're worried about your mom, your wife. All of those things go through your head. And let's just say a prayer and send good thoughts Leonard Floyd's way.
With new rules this year, you're not allowed as a teammate or coach to go anywhere near the injured player. They clear it out for that reason alone because you saw all the personnel tending to him. So now this gesture of everybody going over to kind of give him a tap and so as they cart off Leonard Floyd, we get set to go back into game action. The situation is this: 5:53 to play. Giants up by 6. And they've got the football, 2nd and 7. They're backed up on their own 22-yard line. And while the Giants have dominated this whole half of football, it's only a 6-point lead.
This Bears defense has done a tremendous job, along with their punter, keeping them in this game.
Jennings in the backfield. Give it to him again. Why not? And he's tackled immediately, though. It's Trevathan. And so Jennings now a season high in carries with 19. And now the Giants facing a 3rd down and 7.
And there's Danny Trevathan. Kevin, we were talking about all the additions of the New York Giants. Well, Trevathan, a nice addition for this Bears defense.
Giants go quickly here. Or at least they lined up quickly. Have to get to the 29. Manning, blitz, gets rid of it. Beckham makes a move. Lost the ball. Where's the spot? And I think he's going to be short. He is.
Great hustle play by Sam Acho. Bryce Callahan is going to miss the tackle, but look at the hustle by 49. Not only getting to Odell Beckham Jr., but popping the ball out. Acho, who's replacing Leonard Floyd, comes in and makes a couple of plays on that series.
That was outstanding, and so they forced the Giants to punt it away. Eddie Royal back deep. Remember, he's returned a punt for a touchdown this year. This is a low punt from the 25. And not much. Giants covered it well. And the Bears will have 4:37 to go, down by 6, and Jay Cutler will put the helmet back on. Hey, celebrate the Thanksgiving feast with the NFL on Fox. NFC East rivals collide. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys battling Kirk Cousins and the Redskins. That's a big game. Covers Thanksgiving Day at 4 Eastern, only on Fox. And of course, the action continues next, right here on Fox. Basically, just leave your channel on Fox from here until Thanksgiving.
No doubt.
Dallas is up by a touchdown, 2:12 to go in that game. They've got the ball, trying to salt away their 9th straight win. Giants at 6-3, beat the Cowboys earlier this year. They've won 4 in a row, trying to hold on to a 6-point lead. Here's Howard, and it's Cutler on the keeper. A zone read to Jay Cutler. That's a new one, and Cutler's going to mark it as a gain of 4.
Well, Jay Cutler went to college at Vanderbilt, and this is something he did at Vanderbilt against the SEC. He ran a lot of this zone read. He ran some option. He's plenty athletic. Shows the ball to Jordan Howard. JPP caves down, and they lead out with the tight end Logan Paulston. Gets 6-7 yards.
He said, every once in a while, I got it in me.
Who says Jay Cutler doesn't have fun?
Nobody. 2nd down and 7. Under 4 minutes to go. Play clock at 1. Wesher. Cutler escapes. Nice move. And incomplete. Actually had Marquise Wilson coming open, but Jason Pierre-Paul wrecked that play.
I'm thinking about this ball may come out, and Jay Cutler, at the least, is going to get walloped. JPP runs right by him, and Jay Cutler throws it away.
Not sure how he saw that. And it'll be a 3rd down one more time. 3rd and 7. Bears just 4 of 11 there today. Cutler. Pressure. Gets away. Stands in. Fires. Howard can't make the play. Cutler put it right there, but Howard couldn't come down with it. The Giants D will hold one more time.
Well, it's Owa Odigizua who's pushing Mike Adams all the way back to Jay Cutler. It looks like he has him, but the strength of Cutler. And Cutler puts a catchable ball out there to Jordan Howard, who can't come down with it.
Howard's got to make that catch. Tough play, but he's got to catch it. And so here's O'Donnell. He's averaging 49 yards a punt today. Just hit 167 yards. Spiral perfectly, and it's going to bounce inside the 25. And the mark will be at the 23. And so the Giants will have the ball with 3:31 to go, up 6 points. Bears have 2 timeouts, so there's still a world to go in this game. And now, to me, this is interesting because the Giants, all they do is throw it. Last week against the Bengals, they were able to run it out. Do they try that route again?
Well, I think it's a mix. You know, we've been talking about it. They're starting to show some signs of life in the run game. And this is the time when you need that. People call it the 4-minute drill. Inside of 4 minutes, can you get a couple first downs? via the run game to ice people. They did last week. We'll see if they can do it today.
And so here we go. From the 23. And that goes nowhere. Bears up to the task. Pernell McPhee in on the play. And a timeout by Chicago. Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, you talk about the first 36 games history. Most receptions all time. Most yards all time. Receiving touchdowns, close to the most all time, 6th. And you compare him to some of the greats ever, Moss and Rice. He's got more than both of them. His 36th game was last week. Now, to be fair, the league passes more than they do now. The Giants pass it all the time, but he's not to diminish what he has done. But today, the Bears have done a decent job. He's got 5 catches for 46 yards.
I think, Kevin, because of his antics, sometimes his production is overlooked.
Yeah.
And the production's undeniable, as we just saw.
Beckham, bottom of your screen, but they'll run it here. Jennings right into the thick of the Bears defense for a yard, if that. And so it's funny, the crowd's booing after the Giants are trying to do what they did last week. And another timeout called by Chicago, their final timeout.
This Bears defense is hard to move. We've talked about their front 7. They're stout and they're explosive off the edges. And give credit to them. Pernell McPhee, Akeem Hicks, this group. Pernell McPhee had some choice comments for Eli Manning and the Giants this week.
He did.
And right now they're living up to it as a defense.
And so it'll be a 3rd down and 10. I think McAdoo is on the dinner menu now. 4th quarter, game on the line. We told you the difference between this year and last year. Giants have won the close games. That's the bottom line. Last year they were terrible at it. And it's been a different team really the last couple years. Can they do it again? Third and 10. Manning rolling. Pressure gets rid of it. Incomplete. Oh, boy. That had danger written all over it. DeMontre Hurst had a chance for a Bears touchdown if he caught it.
That was careless by Eli Manning. His one bugaboo have been turnovers. A lot of them at times where it doesn't matter. That's a careless throw, and he is very, very fortunate that he didn't pay dearly. A punt's okay because we're seeing how Chicago's struggling to move it. That's got to be a throwaway from Eli. He got lucky right there.
And so Wing will punt it away. And another 3 and out here. Giants offense has not been able to ice it away. Royal will run it back flag. And he's got nowhere to go. He's down immediately, and we'll see what the penalty is. So the Bears will have 3 minutes to go. No timeouts. Obviously the 2-minute warning. Bigger issue is they haven't moved it a lick the entire second half.
During the kick, holding, return team number 31. It's a 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. It'll be 1st down, Chicago.
All right, so that's on the Bears. But to give you an idea of what we were talking about, these close games, John, I mean, last year, it really started in week 1 against the Cowboys. I mean, just losing all these close games, and it set a bad taste in their mouth, right? I mean, here it was, 3rd and 2, chance to close it out. Romo drops a snap. Doesn't matter, finds Witten. They lose that one. Okay, so that was really how it all went from last year. Similar situation. This year, same type of thing against the Eagles here a couple weeks ago. And they close it out. So it's a fine line. There hasn't been much of a difference.
You know what they did? They worked on it the entire offseason. Vin McAdoo, Steve Spagnuolo said they did it every day in practice, those 2-minute defense. And the 2-minute defense has been awesome for these guys, as we showed graphically earlier today.
Well, here's the 3-minute defense. Blitz coming. Cutler's going to go deep. He's got a man, Wilson, and he connects into Giant territory. Marquise Wilson. First game back off the pup list. First catch today, and it goes for 35.
We've talked about the ability to be aggressive because the lack of a threat. Well, Marquise Wilson says, don't forget about me. I've been on the physically unable to perform list, but I'm back. And he takes it to Eli Apple, the 1st round rookie cornerback.
So one play in the Bears and Giants territory at the 43. Four-man rush. Cutler sidesteps, guns over the middle, tipped, and believe incomplete, yes. Meredith tried to get it on the bounce. It was intended for Marquise Wilson. Cutler's reaching back for 98, John.
Boy, he fired that one in there. You see the tip hit the ground. Good call by the officials. That thing was a fastball. That looked like Aroldis Chapman firing a fastball in there in the World Series.
Second and 10. Pressure. Cutler can run if he wants. There's a flag. Fires deep. And almost a great play by Cam Meredith. But there's a penalty, and this may be a hold. And it is.
It was a great play by Cam Meredith because Landon Collins was about to have his 5th interception. He was hunting that one down.
Holding. Offense. Number 62. 10-yard penalty. Replay. Second out.
That's Ted Larson.
Ted Larson, the right guard, working against Jason Pierre-Paul, and that's what the great rushers do. It's not only sacks, they cause penalties because they put pressure on players. Remember Ted Larson, a backup in there for Kyle Long.
Wind is really howling right now in the stadium. Second and 20. Cutler dancing, looking, gunning, complete! Bellamy, first down, Chicago, down at the 30. What a seed from Jay Cutler.
And you know what beats wind? Arm strength. And no one has arm strength like this guy in this league right now. He just has an absolute cannon. He was a rookie when I was with the Denver Broncos. He's broken a couple of my fingers. And he can fire that ball, and in this type of conditions, that pays big dividends.
And they're willing to take it to the 2-minute warning, trying to wind the clock down. Bears trying to come back down 6, making a move on the Giants. 2 minutes to go.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by State Farm, here to help life go right.
Giants 22, Bears 16, 2 minutes to go. It's been a good drive by Chicago. They're out of timeouts. They need a touchdown, and if they get it, an extra point will put them in front because the Giants have missed 2 extra points today.
Giants showing pressure. Jay Cutler sees it.
Backpedaling away from pressure. Fumble! Ball's loose. Who's got it? I think the Bears recovered it. That was the initial signal. Jason Pierre-Paul came in with the sack and forced fumble, but the Bears got it back.
What a play by Pierre-Paul. He beats Mike Adams on the way to Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler's got to get rid of that football, holding on to that football too long. He did it twice last week. Meanwhile, the clock continues to run.
No timeouts for the Bears. Cutler back. Flag flies. Throwing over the middle, and he bounced it to Cam Meredith. Like to welcome those of you who watch the Buccaneers stop the Chiefs win streak with a 19-17 win here. Bears trying to pull off the big upset. But a big sack and a forced fumble by Jason Pierre-Paul, and now a penalty potentially on Chicago. And time a factor. Bears need a touchdown. They're out of timeouts with 1:19 to go.
Illegal shift. Offense. Number 81. 5-yard penalty. Replay. Second out.
Kevin, we should also note they came into this game without Alshon Jeffrey, who's out 4 games on suspension. They lost their top receiving target in Zac Miller during this game.
Yep.
So Jay Cutler down in terms of his receiving targets. It's been difficult for them to move. He had some juice going until Jason Pierre-Paul took that ball away.
Giants trying to make that leap into an elite defense. It's a 2nd and 29 for Chicago. He's pressured again. He steps, he fires, intercepted! It is Landon Collins for the 4th straight game.
Landon Collins, that's appropriate because he's been their best player this year. His 5th interception of the year. Jay Cutler's foot slipped from him right when he was about to throw that ball. Look at him step up in the pocket. And as he goes, he doesn't really have the ability to drive as that back foot kind of picks up and the ball hangs, and Landon Collins, like he's fair catch, and just looks it on in.
Landon Collins, 4 straight games with an interception. His 5th of the year, and that's a game sealer. Bears without a timeout left. Giants can kneel on it and move on to their 5th straight win. You talked at the beginning of the broadcast about the Giants defense has been trending upward. This second half was all them.
It really was. They came out flat today. They were anything but flat in the second half, led by Jason Pierre-Paul. I thought he was awesome. Really started at the end of the first half, and he brought that energy in. And then his mates, Olivier Vernon and Landon Collins, came along, and they finished this game.
They had no sacks, John, in the first half. They had 4 sacks in the second half of play, and the Giants will hold on. They haven't won 5 games in a row in the regular season since 2010 until now. 5 in a row, and the Giants are going to go to 7-3 as they keep up with the Cowboys, who won again today over Baltimore. Meanwhile, we got a 6-point game in Minnesota with the Vikings in front of the Cardinals. That's an important game for both of those clubs, and we may send you for bonus coverage of that one in just a moment. So a good game here, but the Giants hold on to beat the Bears. 22-16, your final score. For John Lynch and Pam Oliver, our entire Fox crew, I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Giants win it